Have you ever felt like your peace of mind is constantly under attack? Like you're bracing yourself before checking your phone, or you're dreading the silence that follows a message you sent to your child? If you're a mom navigating estrangement, this feels all too familiar. But here's the truth: your peace does not have to be at the mercy of your circumstances. You can become the gatekeeper of your emotional well being. And today I want to show you how. I don't want you to lose your sanity in this process. Today I have 4 points for you. Let's dive in. Number 1 is gatekeeping, as I'm calling it, starts with ownership. So it starts with you, because peace does not come from what others are doing that we have hoped for. It begins with you. It begins with taking ownership of our inner world. And we are all responsible for that. Think of your heart like a home with a gate. Not everything and not everyone needs access to your emotional space. Sometimes we tend to think that anyone who acts like they care about us or has a question about what's going on in your family, like they deserve to know, and they don't. Like, you have to protect your heart. And so when you take back that control, then you're starting to protect your peace in a whole new way. And this whole dynamic is going to shift. It's not about shutting people out. It's about creating the space and the safe haven for what is healthy for you, what is healing for you. And you get to decide what deserves your time, your attention, and your emotional energy. Only you know the answer to that. That's nothing that anyone else can do for you, because we all know that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he wants to destroy your emotions. He wants to steal your peace. And so I want you to remember that. Number 2 is, how do you spot these things? How do we spot these peace disruptors? Because really that's what they are. It's disruption. But before you can protect your peace, you need to give a name to what's pulling you away from it, right? Sometimes it is a message from someone, maybe even me, that reopens a wound for you. It's having you think back and really take a look at your life and your relationships. Other times it might be silence that makes you question everything. And then again, sometimes, many times, it's our own thoughts. Oh, we are so good at doing this to ourselves, right? Guilt and shame and fear take up space that they don't deserve. I fully believe that comes from the enemy. And you do not have to take it. You have to know how to fight back. And a peace disruption can show up in family conversations. It can show up like in real time. It can show up on social media. Lord knows that, right? Even in your own mind at 2 a.m. And it's interesting because so many of you have shared with me that you found me at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And that's when you reached out. Isn't that interesting? When that peace disruption happens and it's disrupting your sleep, what are you doing? You're focusing on the wound. But when you learn to recognize what these moments are, you can pause, you can pray, and you can respond differently. So with that being said, are you feeling overwhelmed by it all? I know I sure was. And I just want to invite you, if you're struggling to figure out how to protect your peace and figure out what is draining you the most, I want to invite you to book a discovery call with me. This is not a coaching session. It is a conversation. And it's going to give us a chance to talk about what's really weighing on your heart. What are you really wanting? And what kind of support that you truly need? And just remember, you do not have to carry this alone. This is a way forward for you, and I would be honored to help you take that first step. All right, number 3 is setting limits without guilt. Some people call them boundaries. Some people call them limits. Some people call it gatekeeping. I like personal limits, but it really is gatekeeping. It is not wrong to set these things. Call it what you will, but it is not wrong. In fact, relationships will thrive if you have them. And I mean every relationship. You know, it's often the most loving things you can do for yourself and for others. It doesn't feel that way when you're in the middle of what you're going through right now. But just remember that these boundaries or these personal limits, they're not about punishment. They're not about control. They're about protecting your heart while it heals. Because I will promise you one thing. If you don't start protecting your heart and you don't remove yourself from conversations and people that are toxic, even if it's for a short time, doesn't mean it's forever. You really need to reevaluate who is in your world right now. It's as simple as saying, you know what, thanks, but I'm not ready to talk about that with you right now. Or I'm not ready to talk about that. But we have to limit our time with people who stir up hurt or confusion. And yes, guilt might creep in, but guilt is not necessarily a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're growing in a new direction. And we want you to grow in a new direction. That's what I want for you. This moment of doubt that you feel many times, maybe at 2 a.m., we don't want to just go inward. We don't want to just focus on that pain and keep it to ourselves. Take it to God. He's your solution. He's the only one that can help us through this. You need wisdom, you need courage, you need peace, and you need to protect your heart. Because when we don't protect our heart, we will close it off completely, and it's really hard to get it back. And lastly is building habits. So we need to anchor your peace. Peace isn't something that you just stumble into. It's something that you build one day at a time. Some of the best tools that I have found are so simple and so quiet. It could be prayer, going for a walk, journaling. We don't want these emotions and thoughts to stay inside. These are not just nice habits, part of your morning or evening routine. These are necessities right now. And when you make that space, when you make time for these things, it will help your mind rest, creating an environment where peace can actually grow. And over time, that will become your default, not the chaos. And that is the goal here. We want peace to be your default, not the chaos. In spite of what's going on around you, you can still have peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding, that none of us can understand, that none of us can really comprehend sometimes. I had that peace, not the entire time, but during the estrangement with my daughter, I had peace that surpassed all understanding. I literally would say, I can't comprehend this. I don't understand this. Where's this peace coming from? Because everything out here looks crap. It looks horrible. How could I have peace? Well, that peace comes from him, but it starts by going to him and also doing these other things to take care of yourself. Because if you just keep everything inward and lock it all up, it will become a prison in your own life. And I don't want that for you. So I hope this helps you. I will see you in the next episode. God bless.